Goochie gooch. We get the brown sheets, they're in the couch.
They're gonna take you down.
I watched some, are you fucking, whatchamacallit? Sorry. It said to just add as much oats as how creamy you want it. So you can like add more, you know, do you know what I mean?
That's how much.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
You know?
no. Bring it in, bring it in. Ugh. To bed.
They can't put the sheets on you if they're pre-washed.
I can put the mattress protectors on them and not the
Why?
blue ones. Because they won't fit your skin. Wait, I need to put a mattress, there's 2 mattress protectors, I need to put one on the other underneath one. I'm glad that it's this pink colour because I thought it was a hot fuchsia. It was the only pink option. I tried to get a sage green but they didn't deliver to Ireland. Yay, yay! I haven't been able to leave the house much. I'm exhausted and the baby's head is like pushing against my vagina, putting a lot of pressure kind of on my gooch bone. Not even 1,000 steps in and I have shin splints. And I'm wearing my good runners with good arch support. It's my body telling me to slow down. My body is telling me to just relax. My brain wants me to be doing loads of things. There is a new moon in Leo tonight, so I thought I would do something nice. Read my tarot cards, do a bit of journaling, bit of manifesting for the new moon to come because apparently it's a really lucky moon. My baby is going to be a Leo, so that has to have some sort of significance. And I was watching the rotunda on RT Player of people giving birth. One of the midwives was saying that it's actually busier. It's busier when there's a full moon. That does make sense because if the moon is moving the sea, it has to be moving me. So it probably does have some sort of implications on the waters breaking. I haven't read my tarot cards like basically since I got pregnant, so I haven't really felt a need to, if you know what I mean, because sometimes you only do it when you're looking for an answer, but I'm kind of getting a bit impatient now with the whole waiting around to give birth sort of thing, and I'm not scared anymore. I'm actually very prepared, even with watching the labor I've started watching labor videos as well on YouTube, which are kind of more realistic than the rotunda ones for some reason, but I also wanted to familiarize myself with the Rotunda Hospital and kind of like the types of midwives that work there and what to expect and kind of the systems that they have in place, because I'm trying to do pain relief free, so no I'm trying to do unmedicated. Probably will just do gas and air, but I just know that I'm gonna vomit all over the place. I know my stepmom, when she was on the gas and air, she was like puking loads and she ended up getting an epidural and she had to get an episiotomy, so I'm kind of like prepared for the worst, if that makes sense. But I know that my body is like strong enough to do this. I'm bigger than my contractions and it's just one step closer to meeting my daughter. So, but I am trying to manifest a happy, healthy baby and that everything goes smoothly, because Jason's a bit squeamish and I'm also scared of him fainting, which wouldn't be the best, wouldn't be the most helpful. You can see the tripod, but sure, fuck it. The spread I'm going to do now is where I am now, where I want to be and how to get there. So that's a 3-card spread. I am a bit out of practice, so I'm using my book of shadows for reference because I don't really remember how to do it. I kind of know intuitively what each of them mean, but I just want to be double sure. Okay. Where's the moon now? Dreams, vagueness, deception, anxiety, fear, subconscious insecurities. Yeah, that makes sense. Everything is not as it seems. It can represent a woman's menstrual cycle. The moon can also signify dormant insecurities or repressed issues resurfacing. You're letting go of anxiety or fear or overwhelm, which may be having a negative effect on your outlook, causing you to suffer from mood swings, instability, or insecurity. Yeah. If you're awaiting a decision on something, the moon indicates that the answer will be either delayed or be so vague it will add to your confusion rather than clarify matters. Mental health issues, depression, unsure about career path. No. Judgment. Where I want to be. Self-evaluation, awakening, renewal, composure, decisiveness, homesickness, snap judgments, forgiveness. You should calmly evaluate yourself and your choices in order to make positive decisions. You've come through your past karmic lessons with increased self-awareness, and you are allowing healing to take place so you can move forward in a positive direction. Okay, it also signifies a spiritual awakening, spiritual rebirth or renewal. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, so 6 of Pentacles. How to get there. Okay, so this means gifts, generosity, charity, donations, money, community assistance, support, employment, sharing, kindness, wealth, prosperity, power, authority, control, investors, giving, receiving, gratitude, being valued, being well paid, rewards for hard work, fairness, equality. You may have so much wealth and prosperity that you are the one in a position to help others. Can indicate sharing, support, clarity, or donations. If you are in a difficult situation at the moment, this card can indicate that there's help available and that someone will assist or support you if you reach out. You may be feeling a strong sense of community spirit or compelled to help those around you when it appears in your tarot spread. It is also a card of power and control, so you may find yourself in a position of authority or being well respected by others when it appears in your tarot reading. The 6 of Pentacles is usually a positive card to get, as it can signify equality and fairness, and can also symbolize being well paid, being valued, or being rewarded for hard work. If you are prospering when it appears, remember to share your good fortune with those around you. It says that it has something to do with the women's menstrual cycle, and the moon, I always feel like, is when a woman is on their period, and being in tune with yourself, taking time alone, feeling anxiety or anxiousness for the future, illusions, confusion. And at the moment I want to be alone, but at the same time I'm feeling lonely. I don't know how things are going to pan out in the future. I'm kind of anxious obviously for what's to come, which is normal when you're about to have a baby and how you're going to look after them, and you're worried about how things will pan out. So that does make a lot of sense. And I know the moon represents anxiety, stress, like worrying about the future. So that's fine. And then judgment is to have a bit of a self-evaluation, making right decisions and not regretting those decisions either, and to trust your instincts and to trust your intuition. This is probably just telling me that it's all going to turn out okay, and I do have to make tough decisions, but as long as I'm making the decisions, then it's fine. I'm not staying on the fence about things. I'm doing things for my family and putting my family first. So yeah. 6 of Pentacles, which I just read out, really positive card. So being hard work paying off and everything coming, yeah, fine. Like success basically, and to like share it with the people around me. And also the generosity, I think, has a lot to do with like my friends and family and the help they've given me over the last while, and definitely over the next few weeks when I'm waiting to go into labor, because they've all been there for me and visiting me every day and stuff. Even though I'm not like the best person to be around right now, I'm not really that much fun. Now I'm just gonna write down stuff in my journal, try manifest things is what I'm gonna do. And then I'll make myself a nice dinner and a cup of tea, go to bed. For yourself?
For myself, yeah. I love milk and it gets a bad rap for some reason. Sheesh.
Imagine you got bits.
Oh, stop.
You're aging. He is going to get a frame for that painting, you know, that your man did for us.
recording. I thought you pressed record.
Is it recording?
Yeah, it's recording now.
Diet Cokes are the best thing to have on a hangover.
Later on in the reading to see if I get into that.
Hey, Mimi.
We have this fucking event.
Well, what's going to happen is though, he's going to be the wealthiest out of everyone in the family. Everyone's going to be so free.
Oh, it'd be so good if I need to borrow money.
And I can't wait to lend you money. And I am literally counting down the days until I get to lend you money. Until I get to go, no, you can keep, you don't have to pay me back. Like, literally, I didn't even notice. I'm like, 200 quid pocket change. Where I don't have to drink in JT Pims. Like, I'm literally counting down the days, and so good. I'm going to get my hair done. I'm going to get extensions. I'm going to get my hair done, like, all the time, like, once a month or something.
That's so good.
That is getting fucking
She's
killed out
spoiled.
as my godchild. Like, we went to Hogan's, then we went to Farrow and Draper, then we went to JT Pims. Oh, yeah, maybe.
Grow your finances. I see that too.
Those trousers are so nice.
Easier. Jason, you're like, don't let the girls have them.
Oh, did you say that? That's so true because I'm eyeing them up as we speak.
Work life, which is attracting a lot more
Spoken out loud in a few days, but I've had to write this letter, kind of this piece for like a dear Keelan, but to my 16-year-old self. I've been thinking a lot about my relationship with my parents, obviously because I'm bringing another child into the world, and it kind of forces you to reflect and self-evaluate your upbringing and how it affected you and what kind of things that I don't want to do, but also things that I do want to do. And sometimes it's impossible to forget the things that your parents have done to you or even forgive them, and I don't think that you have to forgive your parents for the things they've done to you. I don't think there should be so much blame or like pressure on children to forgive their parents because we devote such love and loyalty to them for our whole lives for them to kind of focus up in a way. Well, not all parents obviously, but some. You're not obliged then to forgive them just because they've given you life, or they say that they've sacrificed so much, because coming from the perspective of a mother now, I'm not expecting my child to devote her life to me just because I've given her life. I have given her life like without her consent technically, like it was my choice to do it. She wasn't telling me to do anything. It was all my doing because I want to have a child, not the other way around. So I don't agree with having to give back to your parents or repay them in some way just for bringing you into the world. A lot of times parents shouldn't have kids if they have that belief system. I have a quite complicated relationship with my mother, and she has admitted this before. It's not like I am revealing her in this video, because she does know and she's like reflecting on it and knows that it was bad, but a lot of my childhood was just full of rage, unpredictability, walking on eggshells, thinking that at any moment I could be screamed at. It just wasn't a safe or comfortable environment a lot of the time. I felt like I was a huge burden. They kind of have both admitted admitted on different occasions, both my parents, that they didn't really want to have kids. They just thought that it was the in thing, like the next stage of what they were supposed to do in life. I think that has brought a lot of resentments, and I heard a lot growing up as well, being like, I sacrificed so much for you, and I didn't necessarily know what that had meant. All you expect from your parent is to love you, and a lot of the time I didn't even feel that way. That has had huge implications on how I've been brought up and how I am as an adult, because the negative self-talk or self-doubt that you hear in your head, it's usually something that derives from how your parents would have talked to you, or how your parents would have encouraged you in different areas of your life. My mom had this narrative of like calling me a liar, or that I would embellish stories to make myself look better, so she would always try to catch me out. Now that has manifested in my adult life as, even if stuff is going well, I feel like I can't talk about it, or that it's going to be ripped away from me, or someone is going to ridicule me for that success in my life. I just will never be good enough no matter what, and it's just constantly someone just trying to tear me down, or that I don't deserve it even if things are going well, or that life is unfair and life is shit, so it's not going to last that long. Eventually it came to a head and I couldn't handle it anymore, and then moved in with my dad. So I never really had like a good mother relationship for a lot of my developmental years of being a late teenager or into early adulthood. I didn't kind of have a female role model, or someone that kind of was in my corner or believed in me or like backed me up. I did have a good relationship then eventually after I'd moved to London, because basically I didn't actually need anything from her. So it's easier to have a good relationship with your parents if you're not expecting anything of them. She's done so much for me, obviously she has, but it's just that the fundamentals of being a parent weren't provided when I needed it the most, which was just to be loved and accepted by my parents. It was like she didn't like me as a person, is kind of what it felt like. Came to her for help, she wouldn't believe me, or she would think it was my fault. So obviously then as a kid I acted out a lot, or was just mean to other people. Not that it's my parents' fault, but my first ever like romantic relationship was an abusive one, and I stayed in it for 1.5 years, and then even after I told my mom about it for help, she had said, well, what did you do to annoy him? You must have done something to piss him off for him to act out like that. It was emotionally and physically abusive, so that's what she was referring to. It's really hard for me now. I had blocked it out for a lot of my adulthood, but now because I'm becoming a mother, it's really hard for me not to ignore like the mean things that were said to me from the person who's supposed to love me the most. Another thing that has brought it back up again is because the unpredictability and feeling unsafe and unstable. She's recently kicked out my sisters. It's different for different parts of the world or different cultures, but to be kicked out without like anywhere to go, randomly kicked out of your home because she doesn't want to be a parent anymore, is a bit unsettling. A lot of when I was a teenager I felt like responsible for my sisters, that I should be looking after them. They were parentified in different ways too, where we just couldn't act like children to a certain extent. But at the same time it's so hard because I I love my mom so much, and even though she was so horrible to me for a lot of my life, it's so hard to not to look up to your parents so much, and I still like value her opinion so much and want to impress her, even though I'll probably never get what it is that I'm looking for, like whatever approval it is. Sometimes it's really, really hard to forgive her. It was easier when I didn't have someone else to be looking after, but now that I have my own daughter, it's like more glaringly traumatic to me how I was treated. But I know that it's just like whatever way she was brought up and how she was taught to show love. So that's why she wasn't able to be there for us when we were younger. As women as well, we tend to invalidate our feelings. Like, I know I'm getting so upset now, but I know in an hour or two I'll be like, oh, it's just because of my hormones because I'm pregnant. But I feel like we intellectualize every part of our feelings to the point where we don't allow ourselves to feel anything, keep justifying them to the point where we're not even processing it. I'd love to get my eyebrows done. It was so much easier when I lived in a different country to like avoid everything, all my whole past. But I carry so much shame about who I was all the time, like just constant shame. It's really good. But at least I have my siblings because we all went through it, so it's a good buzz, good trauma bond.
You were in my dream last night. You were in my dream last night. Do you want to hear about my dream?
What was I doing? So I still have.
We were in this like studio kind of thing, but then there was this big party, and then you were singing on the stage, and then you were singing your song, but then you went like this to bring me up the stage, and then we sang a song together.
Oh.
And then we kissed. No. No, he does.
So is it too far if I send photos for Instagram?
No. That's so good.
So good.
Saoirse.
Gosh, she's
That's
so
cute.
hot.
Really?
That's so cute.
It was really fun. Keelan, you were there too, and then I was in a taxi, and then I was flirting with the taxi driver, and then
Flirting with the taxi driver.
yeah, but he was
Free ride home.
He was pretty hot, and then he was like, and then I was like, okay, and he was like, do you want to have a go on driving in the driver's seat? And I go, no, I'm actually okay. And then he goes, I was like, not tonight. And then he was like, and then he was saying bye, and we gave each other a hug, and then he like kissed me on the cheek, and I was like, okay. And then we like kind of kissed on the lips, and then he was like, do you want to stay? And I was like, no, I don't really want to. And then he started shouting at me, being like, you led me on. Well, why not? And I was like,
And then isn't that when you were like, why are you shouting at me? And he turned around and he just goes, so hey.
Yeah.
That's
that's so cute. Did you ever go to that place called Jim and Robbins?
Did you get food as well?